Based information that I found, I'm going to talk about each trait which were used during Stalin's Russia. A little bit information about Stalin. He was born in December 18 and died at the age of 75. He was the one of most influential dictator of the 20th century. Like Hitler, he was also massive murderer as dictator of Soviet Union. He came to power by a brand totalitarianism that relied on widespread propaganda and a secret police force to eliminate opposition. Ideology is a term developed in the Marxist tradition to talk about how culture is structured in ways that enable the group holding power to have the maximum control with the minimum of conflict. Communism was one of ideologies which was used in Stalin's Russia. Communism is mostly for proletariat like peasants, workers, or soldiers, but it was used in Stalin's Russia a little bit differently, more like dictatorship. During totalitarianism in Stalin's Russia, society was under the government, which I said, but private life were also under the government, which means that each individual had no freedom. Students could not have rights, and they were encouraged to be sacrificed for the state. During totalitarianism, society was under the government, which means that politics, economy were controlled by only government. Also, every youth was educated to glorify Stalin. People were forced to work to increase the output of steel, coal, and oil, and even agriculture was under the government, so the peasants from Soviet Union had to work in collective farms to produce food for state, which were made by government. When Stalin controlled the Soviet Union, he used several methods to enforce people to follow and support him. He never allowed someone to question on him. He used propaganda to get respect and worship from people. He even used indoctrination to control people's mind. This was used especially for youth. The most important method was police state. Policies were supposed to protect citizens, but during Stalin's Russia, policies was even under Stalin, so they protect him and they was always on the side of him. Totalitarianism was system which was led by one dictator with one party. The dictator exercised the absolute authority of the government. In Stalin's Russia, Stalin was a dictator with Communist Party. Most leaders of totalitarianism had to be fearful and full of thinking to control people using dictatorship. However, people who were under Stalin even support him because Stalin just justified what he has done, which is terrible, by using propaganda. New weapons and modern technologies were used in totalitarianism. Mass communication such as radio broadcast was only to spread propaganda. Also, new weapons such as tanks and guns were used to make people to feel fear and to show his power to people. Well, actually these weapons were used to kill opposition. To conclude everything, people under totalitarianism with these 7 traits did not have any rights and freedom. As a result, Soviet Union was developed a lot, but behind success, there were tons of dead bodies, shortage of food, and housing.